Section 2.3, Models and Applications. Setting up a linear equation to solve a real-world application. To set up or model a linear equation to fit a real-world application, we must first determine the known quantities and define the unknown quantity as a variable. Then we begin to interpret the words as mathematical expressions using mathematical symbols. Let us use the car rental example above. In this case, a known cost, such as 10 cents per mile, is multiplied by an unknown quantity, the number of miles driven. Therefore, we can write 0.10 times x. This expression represents a variable cost because it changes according to the number of miles driven. If a quantity is independent of a variable, we usually just add or subtract it. According to the problem, as these amounts do not change, we call them fixed costs. So consider a car rental agency that charges 10 cents per mile plus a daily fee of $50. We can use these quantities to model an equation that can be used to find the daily car rental cost. C would equal 0.10 times x plus 50, where 50 is the daily fee, which is the fixed costs, 10 cents per mile, where x represents the miles. Now, when dealing with real-world applications, there are certain expressions that we can translate directly into math. In this table 1, it lists some common verbal expressions and their equivalent mathematical expressions. So we have our verbal column here, and then we have the translation to math operations column. When we have one number exceeds another by a, we can call it x and then x plus a. When you say twice a number, it's the same thing as saying 2 times x. One number is a more than another number. That can be x or x plus and then x plus a. One number is a less than twice another number. So that's x, 2x minus a, where it's twice the number and a is less than that, twice that number. The product of a number and a decreased by b. So the product of a number and a, you have comma, so you multiply those together because the comma exists. So a times x decreased by b, which is minus b. The quotient of a number and the number plus a is 3 times the number. So you have the quotient of a number, so you have x. The and tells you to have a division bar, and then the number plus a would be x plus a, and then is your equal sign, 3 times the number, which would be 3x. And last, we have the product of 3 times a number and the number decreased by b. So the and separates the multiplication parentheses. So we have the product of 3 times a number, which is 3x. The and tells us that we need to then multiply it by the number decreased by b, which is x minus b, in parentheses, is, which is equal to c.